There was a channel that said that during this Charlie Kirk assassination, they met in Congress and they pushed through a bill to keep supporting Ukraine in their war against Russia. And they did it at that time because they knew that the average American is fed up of that war and they want it to end. But they knew it would be unpopular. So because of all this thing, they did that on the sly. Because everyone is distracted from this Charlie Kirk fake assassination. All right. So that's an example of these two horns, which are Republicans and Democrats. All right. They're like lambs, meaning that they don't, yeah, we're here to help you, this, that. But they do what? And he spake as a dragon. All right. And if you look at the word dragon, it goes back to draconian. They bring out draconian laws that take away people's rights. All right. That's what both of those parties do. Even Obama, when he was in charge. All right. He had the most drone deaths. All right. Than any other U.S. president. You know, this so-called black man. Okay. So it's all bullshit. Verse 12. All right. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, which is the Roman Empire. All right. And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. All right. And who is that? Talking about the Roman Empire, because the Roman Empire was, empire had its reign. All right. And then we took over. We had 1,000 years, all right, of ruling Europe. And then in the Renaissance period, the word Renaissance means rebirth, whites came back into power. And that was Rome coming back into power. So this is Rome all over again. Okay? And one of the main things that brought the Roman Empire down is their money system. And that's exactly what's happening in America today. All right, let's continue.
When you look at the coinage, it started out being an exact measure of copper for the sestertii and silver for the denarii, and by the time it was all over, worth absolutely nothing with perhaps a wash of silver to make it look like the original thing, which is exactly what we're doing now. So these patterns repeat themselves. They always repeat themselves.
The Romans were the first culture to understand that a currency maintains its value because of its rarity. Julius Paulus once said, "This device, being officially promulgated, circulates and maintains its purchasing power not so much from its substance as from its quantity." Even still, the Romans never stopped churning out more currency, just like the USA today and the ancient Greeks before them. But in their race to debase, the Romans came up with some new twists of their own. The first of these twists was coin clipping. Whenever a Roman would enter a government building, they'd simply clip the edge off of their gold or silver coin. They would save up all of those clippings, melt them down, and mint more coins, expanding the currency supply. And when that wasn't enough, they developed the art of revaluation, where you just take a coin and you stamp a new value on it. You got 100! That simple.
The move away from precious metals to something less than precious metals, and the Roman Empire famously clipped their coins. This was a debasement of the currency. There wasn't a paper currency, but it was a debasement of the currency. In the U.S., there's a very interesting phenomenon going on where they're not clipping coins, but when you go to the supermarket, you find that the portions of the items at the supermarket on sale are shrinking. You know, the servings on various other consumer products are getting smaller and smaller, but this price is the same. So it's very similar to that old Roman coin clipping trick from 2,000 years ago. It's another form of currency debasement, but it's hidden through cardboard and marketing and fancy presentation, but the people are nevertheless having their currency debased.
So why should you care about this? The quality of a society is directly proportional to the quality of its money. Stable money leads to stable prices, which leads to a stable society, whereas debasement of the currency leads to the demise of empires.
And that's where we're going. We're going to a debasement, all right, of the American dollar. That's what's happening. You know, that's why this guy, this clown, Donald Trump, and I've got an article here, all right, Trump's, this is geopoliticaleconomy.com, all right, and this is from this year, from May, I think it is. It says, Trump's tariffs turbocharge de-dollarization. The world sells US dollar assets seeking alternatives. You see, there's a method to what he's doing with all the tariffs and all this kind of stuff. Is basically devaluing this dollar, because now they know that this dollar is worth hardly anything. All right, and it's the world reserve currency. So that's why if you go to different countries, even for example in Zimbabwe, where they've had a bad currency for a very long time, if you go to Zimbabwe, all right, and you go to the money exchange, you know, they get their money in dollars rather than the local currency. You know, they go to the money changers, they get the dollars, and all the shops there take it. Why? Because it's the world reserve currency. All right, now we know that they don't care about money anymore. They want to devalue this dollar so they can bring in the MOTB, all right, which is in Revelations 13 and 16. So him doing all this, all right, economists are saying all these tariffs are crazy, this, that, and the other, but he's working for the elites. They want to get rid of money, all right? And it says Donald Trump wants to save... Oops, let's go. It's just got off here. Let me go back. Yeah, Donald Trump wants to save the dominance of the US dollar as the global reserve currency, but his aggressive tariffs and trade war are accelerating de-dollarization. Countries and investors are selling US stocks and bonds, seeking alternative reserve currencies. And that's happening with China, Russia. That's why you have the BRICS nations. They're all coming together to put a finger up to this devil and say, fuck your American dollar. You know, we're going to do our own thing. And this is only going to be bad news for the dollar. And it's going to crash. You know, that's why you shouldn't, at this time, I know there's all these stupid adverts on TV about investing in gold, silver, you know, this, that, and the other. Invest in this truth, man. Invest in Yahweh Shem Shai. All right? And then all these hardships that are coming, the Lord will see you through, man. Okay? Because look at them people over there in our homeland, Gaza. They can have $3,000. That's not going to... That $3,000 that they have is not going to help them. You know, they might be able to get food, but over there in Gaza now, they have things like lamb, just like a shoulder of lamb or something like that, and it's almost like 80 pounds, man. A bag of flour is like $50, you know. That's how bad it is, man, over there. So the investment should be in this truth, all right? So you can see where this is going, and it's just exactly how the Roman Empire fell. They're doing the same thing. You go to the supermarket, and I know this, man. You go to the supermarket, I'm looking at it, and you're, you know, there's this sauce that I like. What's it called? Nando's peri peri sauce. You know, everyone's got their little things that they like. You know, you go to the supermarket, and you know, it's gone up, man. You know, but the amount that you get in the packet is not gone up. You know, sometimes the packets are getting smaller. All right. These are all signs of the empire crumbling. All right. These are all signs that the Lord is bringing this place down, man. And exactly they did that in the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire fell, you know. And that's why all these other countries are looking at America, and they're not scared of America no more, which is good. And they're not scared of this so-called white man. The only people that are scared of this so-called white man is you stupid niggas, man. You know? Let's go to Isaiah 14 and 5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. And yeah, he has done that. He's done that to us in particular. You know, he did that to Gad. All right. He did that to these even other nations like Japan, man. And all these other nations, yeah, these other races, they deserve to suffer. You know why they deserve to suffer? Because rather than sticking up against the so-called white man and his oppression, when an actual Israelite goes to these different countries, that's why you have all these different things on TV saying, or on YouTube, going to Argentina being black, going to Europe being black, going to Portugal being black. Because we get treated like shit everywhere. But, the Japanese, they did a deal with African countries. And a part of the deal was to allow these Nigerians to go to Japan and Japanese people to go to Africa in exchange. As soon as the Japanese heard about it, they went mad, man. They actually started to protest against it, man. And the president's approval rating sunk. You know, that's how much they hate us, man. And let me be fair about it. The Japanese, they're not very tolerant people anyway, because even South Koreans go to Japan, and even though they look alike, etc., they don't like them, man. You know, so they're not gonna accept your black ass to go over there. All right. So he who smote people in wrath with a continual stroke, he ruled the nations in anger. All right, in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. All right, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and quiet. All right, they break forth into singing, and this is what's gonna happen when the Lord takes his devil down. All right, they break forth into singing. Verse 8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. All right. Verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee. Even all the chief ones of the earth, it have raised up the thrones of all the kings of the nations. All right, the main point here, verse 10. They all shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Question mark. Art thou become like us? Yeah, because at one point this devil thought he was high and mighty. All right, when the Lord finally brings this bitch down, all right, all these other nations are going to look like, you know what? This is the guy that used to rule, you know, over the whole world in anger. And I'll give you examples. What they did in World War II. All right, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. There was no need to do that, man. The Japanese surrendered already, but they wanted to drop that bomb to see how it would, you know, how it would affect the people, you know, and millions of people died, and many people were scarred, man. All right, mutilated. Okay, that's an example of him ruling the nations in anger. All right, so when the Lord takes him down, people are going to say, are you as weak as us? And he is weak right now. All right, he's weak. And the proof that he's weak is his currency. His currency, his dollar is being devalued by the second, man. All right, there's something called a debt clock. Hang on, where is it here? There's what's it called? Is it American debt clock? Yeah, man, there's look, debt clock, man. Look, US national debt clock, real time. This is unbelievable, man. You know, there you go. I mean, look at this. All right, usdebtclock.org. All right, at the second, man, U.S. national debt, 37, not million, this is trillion. 37 million? I mean, look at the digits on this. I mean, this is all, utter madness. There you go, let's see. National debt clock, let's see what it says here. All right. National debt clock. The national debt clock is a billboard size running the total display that shows the United States gross national debt and each American family's share of the debt. As of 2017, it has been installed on the western side of the Bank of America Tower. So why are they displaying a national debt clock for everyone to see? So it's clear what they want to do. They want to get rid of this dollar, because when they eradicate this dollar, then they can go to the next phase of their plan, all right, in this dying empire, which is the MOTB. We go down to Revelations 13 and 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So whether you're free outside or whether you're in prison, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, verse 18, here is wisdom. I notice it says wisdom, man. All right, which a lot of people don't have. Let him have understanding, count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 600 threescore and 6. 600 threescore and 6. What does that mean? That means 666. So you have to watch out for that number of this devil, of this beast. And we see it everywhere. It's everywhere, man. All right, in rap music, in popular TV, everything, 666. So that's the next stage of their diabolical plan. But really, it's not their diabolical plan. It's the plan of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, because he's already told us in the scriptures that this will happen. So that shows you that he is in charge. All right, so then there is nothing to fear. All right. You only have something to fear if you're not walking with the Heavenly Father in the right way, man. And another indictment of this empire, in particular with this whole Charlie Kirk and all that stuff, what is that going to drive? More division. All right, more division, more hatred, etc. And it's already doing that, man. All right. And there's theories about all of this stuff. Whether he was killed by Israel and all this kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. But the main thing is that is causing what? Division. All right. That is causing division. Now, what did Yahushua say about a kingdom divided? All right, last scripture, and we'll close it after this. This is Matthew 12 and 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And that's what this whole Charlie Kirk madness is bringing. Is exacerbating it. And I never knew about this guy anyway. He was also, a very stupid guy, not really articulate, etc. But when I actually looked him up, he was saying a hell of a lot of things against Israelites in America. If there's a pilot and he's black, I'm going to be scared to go on that plane. Is he qualified, or did he get it through DEI. See, they're all puppets. And the sad thing about it is that you got coonesses like Candace Owens, all right, who are puppets as well. She's just the same. And that's why when she first came out, her whole mantra was about, oh, blacks are this and blacks are that. So that shows you that this white man is paying evil Israelites against their own people, man. You know? But guess what? They're doing a job that the Heavenly Father wants them to do on the left-hand side. Because the left-hand side is Satan's side, the right-hand side is Yahushua's side. Alright? So, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and set onto them. Every kingdom, including your garbage America and your bullshit Rome. Alright? Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So America is completely divided. And these Masonic puppets, like Candace Owens and all these people, you know, let them do their thing. They're accelerating the fall of this evil empire, you know. And he was just another puppet, man. All right, he was just another puppet. All right, that sold his soul. All right, for a bit of fortune, a bit of fame. And once you sell your soul, if the Masons say, listen, we're gonna have to, if the Masons say, look, you know what, we're gonna have to do a fake assassination, you know, because that will help this and that. He ain't got no choice in it. He has no choice whatsoever. He has to do as he's told, man. Or if not, they'll put him to death. Okay? But the biggest clue that this is all bullshit, and I'll just show it a little bit, is this. As I said, it's a good channel. When you have these incidents happen, alright, when you have these psyopses happen, alright, give it a day or two and then go to this channel. This guy exposes a lot of them, but this video here, he shows, oh yeah, here it is. He shows, this is supposed to be Charlie Kirk's wife, alright, saying goodbye to her husband, alright, and there's no, and I'm going to play it for you, but look at the hand, look at her hand, and look at the hand that she's touching, you know. I mean, you can clearly, even though someone's died, and, you know, there's, you know, their spirit has left their body, when a cracker dies, they do not look like this. Their hand doesn't look like this. This is a complete fake. This is completely a psyops. This is a hoax. But I'll play it. Alright. You know, I'll play it so people be edified.
World stage, and to me it's unbelievable how people have such poor discernment and the inability to see through the obvious. And that first off gets into Erica Kirk's video that she posted online with Charlie Kirk, supposedly Charlie Kirk, as you see here, with the golden looking hand. And also I'm going to get into Donald Trump. And this is obviously AI that we see here. This is something I've covered going back to 2012 and again in 2014 with Barack Obama. I already posted that video. You can see the video. I'm on my channel currently. But first off, let's get on topic with Erica Kirk. And again, the video that she posted online, which is very creepy, doesn't look natural in any which way visually, and her voice itself, it just doesn't pass the smell test. Let's get right to it.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I know. I love you. I love you.
And one thing I'll mention is kind of weird. Why would someone be filming over her shoulder? Besides the fact that she posted this online on social media, why would someone be hovering over her shoulder filming this? This is just very, very bizarre. It's like a bad movie. Let's continue.
God bless you.
And pulling the heartstrings with the God bless you. Let's continue.
And you can clearly see that this is just a mannequin. I mean, look at the hands, you know. I mean, it looks, it's just so, and if this was a private moment where you're, why would you allow someone to film that when you're saying goodbye to your husband? Now, in America, they have underground bases. They have actually underground cities. All right. A lot of these hoaxes, the people that they have in the hoaxes, like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all those hoaxes, you know, they have them. They fake an assassination, and they're down in some underground city for a while. You know, have plastic surgery, come up, new identity, bam. You know, that happens a lot of times. Are you telling me that this is I mean, look at the hands. You know, remember, this is a cracker, man. All right. What did he go on a sunbed? You know, and Charlie Kirk was a very pale cracker as well. All right. And when they die, they're even paler. So this is just clearly a hoax. This is just absolute. But this is the desperation of this devil. But that's what he's doing. He's doing this. I mean, why would you actually film this, man? And put that out there on your social media? I love you, I love you. And her message, I think she made a message to say that, oh, his work is going to go on, this, that, the other. The only work that he did was to go around and talk about things, you know, say this and that. And he was disparaging against people, you know. So this is more desperation from this devil, man. And if you can't see, through this, I don't know what to say, you know. Donald Trump, a lackey, and believe me, he said recently. What did he say? He said that he's gonna bring the National Guard into Chicago, man. All right, and then there's some guys that are in gangs in Chicago that are warning him not to. Look, we hope and pray that he does allow the National Guard into Chicago, because a lot of our people, they need to be neutralized, man, because they're animals, man. All right, the more this place is divided, all right, it just shows that the Lord is signifying that this America is gonna fall and never get back up. That's the main thing. So while this kingdom is divided, the Lord's elect is not going to be divided. They were all going to say and call upon the name of the Heavenly Father and His Son, and we're all going to speak the same thing, which is in contrast to this wicked kingdom. All right? Because what? Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, just like the Roman Empire, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. All right? So America's on its last legs, man. Okay? So I give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Akakadash, double honors to the apostles, elders, and Bishop Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect of the nation Israel. Stay strong, stay in the Lord, Shalom.